Yeah, and have you had the recent news of how they finally did the Starship test? Or you don't know what Starship is?
No, tell me Starship.
You don't know what Starship is?
Not really. Starship, where, which country, and where are they doing the
Starship.
test?
It's in USA. There's this company called SpaceX. At least you've heard.
I know SpaceX.
Yeah,
Elon Musk.
Yeah, so
Elon Musk.
they're building this rocket which they want to use to ferry humans to Mars and start a colony of Mars. You've heard of that?
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah, so
I wonder why don't they just transform the Earth
into a better place?
Yes, they're going to Mars.
Yeah, that's actually a whole argument that people have had for a long time. Some people think that we should not have space travel at all, and we just chill on Earth and do things on Earth because Earth has problems. As long as it has problems, let's not live. Me, I think that's reductionist thinking. At least space has so many benefits.
So the Starship, what happened? Like, was the launch successful? Or?
Yeah, it was successful. So it just spurred this idea. When are we doing that stuff here?
Uganda or Africa at large?
Africa.
Or Makerere University.
Even Makerere, wherever.
Because when I say a bus of corners, there's space science,
and you're like, oh.
So what is required to go to space, Noah?
What's required?
Can we afford it? Do we even have to think about it
stuff.
as Africans?
It's basic stuff. Goddard, one of the fathers of rocketry, did his research with a motor.
Who?
Henry Goddard. He was one of the fathers of rocketry, one of the people who made the first. Of course, the first rockets made were these fireworks by Chinese, stuff like that. But these liquid fueled rockets, like what we use today for space travel, one of the first people who did that research, it was at a university, and it was barely even this height, his test motor. So basic rocketry research can be done here.
So
that was pre-World War, and it was like maybe the 1920s.
But Elon Musk up to now has failed to travel to Mars. I don't know when he predicts to travel to Mars.
He has failed up to now.
Yes, up to now. I saw him stressed. There are those videos I see on TikTok. He's stressed, he's crying, he works all night and stuff. So, if Elon Musk, who's, I don't know how many billions net worth,
has suffered.
Yes.
How about us here?
We are lacking hospitals, Kalimajongs are dying of hunger.
Yeah. But
then you want to go to space?
So you want to solve the problems on Earth first.
Where are we going
so think about problems on Earth that have been solved in space. A lot of the computing, was done, early computing, developments in computer science were done to calculate trajectories of these rockets. It was done to do all this math associated with space flight, say in the 50s and 60s. So there's a lot of residual science that comes back down onto Earth. Even basics like clothing, the way you're wearing Velcro.
What's Velcro? No.
You know Velcro, the way of closing cloth where you just have two different surfaces. There's a hard one and a fluffy one. When you attach them, they just join. That's some nano kind of technology where there's hooks on one surface and the other surface has loops on a microscopic level. Then when they join together, such technologies were developed for space. So many technologies.
Even I hear like organ. I don't know what's that research where we want to build organs.
We want to print organs.
Printing organs in space
right
because gravity stops us from printing.
Now there is also internet.
There are benefits. I appreciate
telecommunication.
But Africa travel to space. You know what happened with our satellite in Uganda launched?
Yeah.
Last year or 2 years back. It expired, something like that. It expired over there. It's no longer communicating. It's no longer sending signals and stuff. We had to go to NASA to launch ours. Was it NASA?
I don't know who launched
it. It was NASA.
Of course, we used the launch provider. But when will we have our own native launch providers or have our own astronauts?
Do we care?
Me personally.
I care. But I'm saying generally as a population, as an African population, do we really care about going to space? Do even people know space?
I guess the number of views we get on this video will tell us whether people
people care about space.
But me, I think a lot of people do care. It's just that.
Okay, before we travel to space, such great universities like Makerere, University of Nairobi have to introduce space-related courses like, what is it called? Space science, is it? Astrophysics,
aeronautical engineering,
and all that. The budget required and all that. I think they would rather add on their core.
We already run engineering programs, math programs, physics programs. Yes. An astrophysics program is a very, very small addition to that.
And it is
basic
interesting.
Programs, Yeah, it's interesting. You're very interested in astrophysics.
Very much,
Exactly.
Very much.
Imagine you would come here.
But it gives me so. It makes me feel like we are few, or I don't know, because you talk to people and they really don't want to know. They can't even think of now what's in space. We even have flat earthers here. People think the earth is flat.
But it's not just here. They also have flat earthers.
By the way.
Around the globe. Yeah, they are flat earthers.
They are flat earthers
all
around the globe.
All over, so.
Even on the outside, they say they are flat earthers around the globe. Yeah, they are flat earthers. But as studying space science and traveling, I think it requires a lot of budget. We have wars. We have
Which war do we have here?
No, not Uganda. Would you build a space? Uganda alone can't build the NASA. I don't think so. But you know how much budget goes to NASA launching the Webb telescope?
But we don't need to launch a James Webb Space Telescope. Do you know that India has a space program which it has nurtured over the past decade?
India is a very great nation when it comes to science. Even the surgeries always go there too.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes. But do you realize India has built this capacity over, say, the past 20 years? So it was also thought of as an almost third world destination for a long time. But right now they built a space program from scratch. If you've
those guys have been smart lads ever since.
Have you heard of ISRO? So you believe they are superior?
No. Okay, they have been serious. Okay, let me see.
We have also been serious.
Okay.
You've heard of ISRO, have you?
No, I've not.
ISRO, India Space Research Organization. They've even had a moon mission.
They've gone to the moon.
Yeah, they traveled to the moon. Not just ISRO, they sent a robot, of course. Then the Chinese as well, they even have a space station.
Chinese are serious. They're amongst the great eights and stuff.
But you realize that the Chinese had famines.
No, we have no food in Karamoja.
The Chinese had no food in the 60s.
To look for food from the moon.
You've not heard of famines that killed millions in the 60s.
Famine that killed millions in the 60s?
Yeah, in China.
I've heard that.
Worse famines than we've ever had here in Africa, by the way. And right now they have a space station built. The Indians also had famines.
But may I think
they also were colonized.
May I think even to create such awareness and people to be interested in such space science, the education system should dive into that. Do you know people study from primary in Uganda, and I've observed up to senior 4. If we have in geography we studied about the star solar system, but it was so basic and people even didn't know what are we talking about? What is Mars? What
these
is
days I hear
Jupiter?
Kids in,
what is Uranus?
Kids in kindergarten. They have these rhymes which sing.
I
think the new generation.
But that song, I know the song you're talking about. Yeah. But that song was it's made by a white man.
So you want our local composers?
No, not our local composers. No, it's not about that. But it shows that for them they started doing it long time. Long time. So
but we can use their resources. We don't have to start from scratch. Just like India made it to the moon without spending $100 billion. Like say the Americans did in the 60s. A highly inefficient program. You have to invent flight computers from scratch. You have to invent rocket propellants from scratch. You don't know which propellant to use. You're like, which chemical does this and this? Which oxidizer? How should the fuel tank be shaped? When fuel sloshes around in a fuel tank, what do I do? Guidance, how do I do guidance? Which math do I do for this and this? When I get into orbit, what are the conditions like? Do random cosmic waves cause bits to flip inside the computer? What happens? There's so much involved. and they have already done the bulk of that work, spent billions of dollars doing that kind
to travel to space.
So a space program by a modern nation.
I think if we unite as Africans, I don't know, like East African
yeah,
Space
we can
Program,
have a space
ESP.
program.
Yeah, then we have the.
It's a nice idea.
The new Buzz Lightyears and stuff.
Yeah, when ESC finally kicks off, I don't know when that will be. Maybe we will be remembered as the first guys to talk about the ESP.
The East African Space Program.
Or the JSP, Jumuiya Space Program.
Why Jumuiya?
We are called Jumuiya.
Oh, I have remembered.
Jumuiya.
In our East African anthem.
Yes.
That anthem you gave. We suffered in high school.
Learning it.
Yeah.
But me, I support that.
Uganda schools are tough.
Actually, I'm thinking of brushing up on my Kiswahili as well. Just because I can't wait for the ESC. These people don't know how much we can't wait for
the ES what?
The ESC.
The East African
Community, yeah.
Oh, yes.
They don't know how much we can't wait for it. Even if they say we should all learn Kiswahili, some of us are ready.
Can you learn Kiswahili. But no, we are still talking about the pipeline of oil and refining our oil from here. And so we want to go to space.
A pipeline, currently we are in debt, but we are building it. Though on debt. But yeah, with debt. But the thing is, it's an investment. You borrow money, invest. Hopefully, when the oil is being pumped, we can recoup our investment.
Elon Musk also doesn't know how he will even return back from Mars. You're here telling us
it's
going to be a one-way trip.
No, that's a clickbait.
It's a one-way trip.
It's not.
Why not?
I think that ship that is being developed, it's a reusable ship. So you launch it with a booster. Of course, it's a two-stage rocket. So the ship itself, which is called Starship, reaches orbit, fuels up, gets enough fuel, goes for Mars. That's a journey that will take, dependent on, I don't know, the astrodynamics of when they set off, could even take months. So when they get to Mars, they will land using vertically, landing using engines on the Martian surface. Then on Mars, there is certain minerals we can use to produce fuels. It's called ISRIU, in situ or on-site resource.
It's called what?
In situ, that's Latin. On site. So we utilize resources on Mars. We will build machines, you know the Haber process. We can build machines, we extract.
The Haber process was that of ammonia?
Yeah.
Ammonia gas?
Yeah. We can work with these rocks, use different chemical reactions, extract.
No, when are we going to transport all that stuff from Earth to Mars?
No.
It's gonna take
the missions that will first go. Let's say we sent robotic missions.
The first people
which contain
doomed.
No, first of all, not people. The ship doesn't need necessarily pilots to say, oh, do this and this. We've sent robots to Mars with no one. We will send ships with, say, robots, which can go, and also equipment for this ISRIU. Then we send a manned mission, and these people will use all the equipment available to refuel their ship, take off, and come back to Earth. That's the current plan. So it's not a one-way trip.
When I watched the documentary,
a one-way trip.
When I watched the documentary, there was a woman who was ready to go for a one-way trip to Mars.
That's a very rare
because there are people ready for anything. Do you remember the guy they put a Neuralink in?
That one.
Elon Musk.
But he had no choice. His was it quadriplegic? So
people also have love for adventure. They feel like they have no choice because they have love for adventure.
Yeah.
This woman, because they were calculating escaping a planet requires escape velocity. So we need something like to launch, like what is it like? The way NASA points, I don't know, directs the rockets off the ground. You need all that setup, control room, and all that stuff. That's what they were saying. We require such setup on Mars. For its escape velocity to come back.
Not necessarily. What people forget is Mars is less massive. It has less gravity. Like about maybe a third Earth's gravity. So first of all, escape velocity on Mars is lower. So you don't need to reach as high a velocity, 11 kilometers per second, as you have to reach here on Earth with a full G. So, and the other thing you need maybe is we could send a robot to flatten out a pad. Maybe lay out a flat pad with, say, like concrete or something.
So you're going to first send robots?
Yeah, that should be obvious plan.
So
then
apart from Africa,
in the control room,
astronauts, we have to also manufacture robots. We have to
you
set
saw a
up
guy
whatever.
making a robot right there as
Yeah.
he walked into Uniport.
Yes,
he was making a robot to lay bricks automatically. By the way, that's very
that was very
applicable
interesting.
on Mars.
Mm.
People are making
to be a nice machine on Mars.
Because I've seen people
Elon Musk
robots with a
come
nozzle.
visit Makerere University.
Yeah.
Elon Musk, please visit Makerere University.
Yeah, there's a guy with a robot.
There's a guy with a robot you might need for your Mars.
Yeah, so
for your quest to Mars.
There are these robots that have nozzles which can like use a certain kind of quick setting concrete and automatically print a house. 3D printing a house. So this is what we will do. Send robots, print some structures.
You know, this robot is very useful on Mars.
But the problem is it's bricks. So bricks, we need an enclosure that's airtight, that can keep pressure, because the pressure on Mars is lower.
So what do you mean? The bricks will dismantle?
No, like bricks are more, they are permeable. So that joint and everything about
so we need metallic bricks on
not
Mars.
metallic bricks.
They
would have to be very specifically engineered, and building with bricks itself might not be the most, I don't think, sound way to do it.
But no,
then you would also need to cut up the bricks. You need to bake the bricks. Bricks are, but that robot, very useful on Earth. Definitely.
Very useful on Earth.
Yeah.
But no, all that stuff, robots, we need bricks.
Robots are, yeah.
Why don't we get that money? We irrigate Karamoja.
What next?
People be happy.
Be happy.
Then we control.
We produce food. By the way,
we control what?
Do you know the problem?
We control child birth, control population.
Yeah. Do you know the
family
problem?
planning?
I want to first tackle these things.
Stop wars and
I want to tackle these things one by one. First of all, you said irrigating Karamoja. You realize that Uganda is one of the most agriculturally productive countries in this region. We export food.
Tell that to
some people even put tariffs on our food because we over-export and we kill their products.
Tell that to the
that is a food distribution problem. Food is there in other parts of the country. Food has to be transported.
So what's wrong with
and taken there? It's a semi-arid area. Semi-arid area, low levels of development. It is so. This is an organizational issue. The people with the power to solve it have to, of course, look at what strategies they are using.
Do you know we need to change the atmosphere of Mars.
What was your next thing we should be doing here?
We should be doing here. Stopping wars and childbirth or controlling population growth.
Are we stopping here now?
Wars, they are many.
Here.
There are instabilities
in Africa.
In Africa. Congo.
There are instabilities.
You have seen what's in Congo.
The Americans,
Israel and whatever.
The Americans are also fighting wars. They have two proxy wars ongoing. They are fighting a proxy war against Iran. They are fighting a proxy war against Russia.
Yes, why are we?
And they are also going to space. We can do all these things.
We can go to wars.
Yes, you can fight your wars.
Let's first solve this, then we go to space.
I know there's no fast solving. When you say let's fast solve this, this is the argument people always have. When they see someone running a business, like say someone came up with an innovative business of doing this and this. For example, let's say Adonis Apparel, your Adonis Apparel. At a online delivery of clothes, doing this and this and this. Someone will be like, why are you delivering clothes online when there are kids starving in Karamoja? First build a farm in Karamoja. People have a zero-sum mindset. So
I have a zero-sum mindset.
Yes, people think that you cannot do more than two things at once. You can do 5 things at once. You can irrigate Karamoja. You can irrigate Karamoja.
As you are delivering clothes.
You can. What was the other thing you did solve?
Wars. Stop wars.
I don't know why you're saying family planning. I just stop people.
Kati, do you know?
Population. Do you know why countries are begging for more people?
Why we are
happy with our current.
Why we are running away from the planet to go to Mars? It's because population.
No, that's not the reason.
Yeah, we are going to fill up the earth. Unemployment. What? We have already.
That's not the reason.
We have an employment issue globally. By the way,
we do. But that's not why we are going to Mars.
Because people are so many qualified people. If Mars is developed and all that stuff, some people, if they don't find employment,
they go and find jobs on Mars.
They go to ATA. That will not
go to Mars. First of all, we want to find life.
But what will be the
we want to explore, have adventure.
What will be the term for going to Mars to work? Because in Uganda it's called ATA.
I don't know. Someone will come up with a term.
But
overpopulation is really, currently, for this earth, not an issue. That's just propaganda. There are people who are not humanist, like, who don't want us. Countries' populations are collapsing. China, South Korea, Japan, a lot of Northeast
So no, according to you, we are still so few.
We are very few. We are very few.
People on the planet.
Very, very few.
No, have you tried looking for a job?
The jobs are not here because the economy hasn't grown. Not because the space is not there. So we should die so that what comes first, people or jobs? People have to be there. Jobs are a secondary consideration.
Okay.
But anyway, let's end it.
Okay, let's end this. Yeah. So I think maybe we shall cover the space, but after solving a lot of issues. Are you seeing America? America is going to space because I think they have solved a lot of issues and stuff. But
they went to space in the 60s. They were in the middle of one of their existential wars, the Cold War. Yeah? They had crises. They had the civil rights sagas going on. People fighting for their rights. They had unemployment.
So no,
they had come out of
we should start this. We should start the space. The
right
quest
now.
to space right now.
Yes, that is
too
my
late.
argument. Yeah, we're even too late.
African presidents. Too late. We need to go to the moon. We need to go to Mars.
Okay, so let's end there.
Okay.